And welcome to the Infowars Money Bomb. Jakari Jackson sitting here with Lee Ann McAdoo. We definitely thank you for joining us on this rather long broadcast, but we're all excited. We have food in the back, so we definitely appreciate everybody who's supporting us. And if you'd like to support us and you haven't done so, you can go to Infowars.com/moneybomb, and you can make a donation there on the page. You can track how many donations have been made. Right now, we're, over $200,000, so off to a pretty good start. We hope that continues to grow. And if you scroll down on the page, you can also see other options. You can see the auction site down at the bottom of the page. You can click that. And why don't we click that and see some of the things that we have up there. We have autographed guitars. We have portraits by Alex Jones.
Original artwork.
Original artwork. So you can have a piece of Alex Jones there that you can hang up in your living room.
He's very talented. A lot of people might not know that about Alex. He's a great artist.
Yeah, those are kind of doodles, but he has actual portraits that he's painted around the studio, which may or may not make it to the auction block. But we also have many other things. The cable. There's a story behind that cable. If anybody who went to the auction site and they saw a ripped up microphone cable, that was when we went out to Planned Parenthood and we were attacked by, this is going to sound sensational, but I swear it's true. It's abortion-loving communist devil worshippers who wore skinny jeans and slithered over trash cans. And I know, if you're hearing this for the first time and you haven't seen this video, it is quite sensational. And I'm not going to have the guys pulled up right now because I know they have a bunch of other stuff. But you can check all that stuff out. And also, don't forget the great specials going on at the Infowars shop. Right now, during our hour, the 6 o'clock hour here in Austin, Texas, we have 20% off all the survival seed banks. So if you go to Infowars shop, you can check all that stuff out. And also, we have free domestic shipping for the entirety of the Infowars Money Bomb broadcast. So if you are domestic, you can get all those great products for free shipping. And also, well, I don't want to spoil it. We have something for Joe Biggs, but I think I'll let him say it.
Yeah,
coming up at the bottom of the hour. So if you haven't seen it,
surprise there.
You'll find out what Joe Biggs has in store coming up later in our broadcast. But that's enough plugging for right now. We have somewhat of a news blitz. So Leanne, what do you have on your radar?
Well, this morning when I woke up, I was seeing the story of the 14-year-old that was kicked out of school. He was put under arrest momentarily for building a clock that was mistaken as a bomb. He built a clock, he brings it to class, shows his engineering teacher, and the teacher says, you might not want to show that to anybody else. And he's like, okay. And then so he's in another classroom, and the alarm goes off on the clock that he's built. And so then this teacher says, well, wow, that looks like a bomb. And so then, of course, she calls in the authorities, and they arrested him, basically saying that he committed the crime of building a hoax bomb. And he was like, no, this is a clock. What are you talking about? It doesn't look like a bomb.
Now, to anybody, I'm not a...
Now, here it is. But he was a Muslim kid named Ahmed Muhammad. So...
A young Muslim man. But before we even expand on that, I'm not an EOD expert, but I'm pretty sure most bombs aren't like the ones in the movie where they have the big red countdown clock telling you how much time is left. I don't think the bad guys in real life want you to know how much time would be left on some bomb.
Well, here's the thing. If you actually look at the picture, it looks like it's a suitcase bomb. I mean, it's like in a little suitcase, or it's a pencil case or something, that you would see them trying to if someone had set their suitcase bomb down underneath a seat. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we're talking about schools that kick kids out for pointing their fingers in the shape of a gun.
Yeah, Pop-Tart guns.
And yeah. So, I mean, at first I was like, oh, goodness. But the way it's been covered all day is that it's this racist thing. Of course, because he's a Muslim, you're going to say, of course, you're going to think it was a bomb or this and that. And I can see where people would think that. But then if you actually click and look at the picture, the schools they're basically saying we would be wrong to not take this precaution when... they've seen what's happened at school.
Was he actually arrested or detained? I saw a picture of him in handcuffs.
Yeah, well, they arrested him, obviously just momentarily. They let him go because they determined that he didn't, in fact, he wasn't trying to build a hoax bomb or something. He was actually. So then, of course, Mark Zuckerberg, Twitter, the president has invited him to the White House and, hey, your clock is really cool and everything. Keep on inventing, keep on building. And everyone's like, you're going to just destroy this kid for life. He's not going to want to invent things anymore. Racist.
I think it is pretty ridiculous that they handcuffed the kid. If they thought it was a real device, they could have separated him and then brought in the whoever to check it out.
But Jakari, think about it. This is the zero tolerance that we're experiencing in schools right now. So they're handcuffing kids that have guns on their T-shirts. Mm-hmm. You know, or like you said, the Pop-Tart gun.
Hello Kitty guns, you know, kicking kids out of school. I saw the story of the young men who were, I think they were suspended for playing with toy guns in their front yard, like the airsoft guns, all kinds of wild wackiness. People who bring army men to school.
Look at this terrorist. Now. Look at this terrorist here. Paper gun.
Yeah, you can't have those paper
Tossed
guns.
out of school. His parents had paid over $100,000 for half the school year for his private school, and then he's here with his paper gun and just a little terrorist in the making. So
yeah, you can't have all these kids. I remember, like, when I was a kid, we used to throw like those paper ninja stars, and now I'd probably get like a
oh my
felony.
goodness,
they probably put me under the prison.
Or when you would shoot the rubber band guns.
Yeah, we had all kinds of stuff. We just had fun as children, but you apparently can't do that anymore.
Well,
in the United States of America.
Yeah, and some people are pointing out, you know, if it was a white kid that had built that, you know, would be totally fine. And on the one hand, you're saying, well, wait a minute, no, they're kicking kids out of school for drawing on the sidewalk with chalk and things. I mean, come on, this is the school, that this is the zero tolerance policy. But look, there was another story, a 13-year-old British schoolboy who built a nuclear fusion reactor in his science class. So they're actually trying to be able to duplicate this. Scientists have been working for years on how to increase the energy produced by his experiment, which, if achieved, would provide limitless amounts of clean power. So here's another smart 13-year-old building a nuclear reactor in his science class.
I'm pretty sure maybe I'm the only person in the building that's seen this movie, but the new Fantastic Four. But Mr. Fantastic is like building all this stuff in his, science class. I'm pretty sure, like, I guess if he was a real person, he wouldn't be, hanging out with the Thing and hanging out with Tony Stark. He'd be in the bottom of some prison for daring bidding stuff in the United States of America.
Right, exactly. And that's why a lot of people are so upset, because they're saying, here, this young kid, he was so excited about his clock. Now, I told this story to Adon earlier, and the kid apparently has built his own go-karts. He builds all sorts of things. And so Adon was like, well, and he just brought a clock to school? Like, why wouldn't he bring something a little more?
I guess it's kind of difficult to drive your go-kart to school. I don't know.
I'd be rolling up to school in my homemade DIY go-kart, pulling in the ladies. I mean, what else are you supposed to do as a nerd? Like...
Well, what?
He might be a cool kid. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm
totally judging him right now.
He doesn't have enough problems in his life right now. I know. All right. So, Infowars Money Bomb, we definitely appreciate everybody for putting up with us, because it's going to be a very long broadcast. And coming up after this, we're going to have the debate. I was watching a little bit of, I guess you would call it the JV debate. I was running back and forth. I know you were answering phones earlier, and I was doing some stuff back there with Biggs and cutting some videos and all that. But I saw a little bit of the JV debate, and I guess Rick Perry has dropped out of the race now. There's 4 people on the stage that I saw. Didn't seem to be that much style and flair going on. But then again, these are your kind of junior varsity candidates.
This is kind of their last shot to be noticed. And that Rick Perry dropping out was kind of a warning to them. Like, all right, well, we're really low down here in the polls.
I just don't get what Rick Perry's deal is, because the last time he entered the debates late and they were asking Ron Paul, like, do you feel the heat because Rick Perry's not here? Like, he was too good to show up to your debate. Everyone's like, he's too scared to show up to the debates. And he didn't do that well in debates and that's one thing about Michelle Bachmann, who I'm not a fan of, but it's because Rick Perry goes out there and he's talking about, all the stuff he's done, and I'm Texas governor, blah, blah, blah. Michelle Bachmann nails him on the fact of the forced vaccinations that he was having the girls take, the Gardasil and all that, and she's pointing out all the harmful effects of that. And he's like, well, mistakes were made, kind of deal. And that's the deal, because it's different. I mean, like, I'm against forced medication. I almost messed that up there. I'm against forced medication. But the issue is, if you mandate somebody to take something like cough syrup, if they find out the cough syrup is tainted, they can stop taking it. If you have something like forced vaccinations, that's inside of your body.
Right.
And it's going to do what it's going to do. And anybody says, well, I don't see, people suing the vaccine industry. It was, I believe, Reagan who had it in the document saying that you couldn't sue the vaccine makers if there's some harm done to you.
Right.
And also you do see people like Pierce Morgan got sick. The girl on Katie Couric got sick. And these aren't stories you hear a lot of because obviously, you know, every time they cut to a commercial on some big network, it's a pharmaceutical commercial. So they don't want that information out there, but these type of things do happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the big issue that a lot of parents are having with these mandatory vaccines, and you can't have any type of exemption whatsoever unless you just want to keep your kid at home. You know, there's a big stigma with it, and I just don't think I'm not completely against vaccination.
No, I'm not either.
But I you know, when I have my own child, I want to be able to space those vaccines out. I don't think it's safe to pump your newborn baby with, what is it, like 30-something vaccines? And then the doctors were even saying mothers who are breastfeeding should hold off on the breastfeeding while they're giving their kids these vaccines, because the breast milk, it's so smart. God is just amazing. It notices that it's a virus, and so it starts trying to fight off the virus for the baby. And so when you're breastfeeding, it'll actually kind of fight off the vaccine. So they're telling mothers to not breastfeed while their kids are getting these vaccine schedules, and it's like, what? Why do they think they're smarter than God? You know, like smarter than we're perfect. Like we're like the perfect creatures.
They think they are smarter than God. And people say, well, you're an anti-vaxxer. No, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm a guy who got off his butt, went down to Walgreens, asked them for a vaccine insert, and they handed me a vaccine insert that said this flu vaccine could give you, including but not limited to diarrhea, nausea, and headaches. I'm like, well, hell,
and
that sounds,
flu.
Yeah, that sounds pretty much like the flu to me. So I could get it by taking the shot or sitting at the house. I'd rather sit at the house and drink some orange juice and, you know, not take your vaccine. Yeah,
or maybe not even ever get the flu. And by the way, this flu vaccine isn't even for the strain of flu that's coming around this year. I mean, it's completely insane. And I don't think there's another industry where something like that would be allowed to continue year after year. But it's subsidized and, you know, with impunity.
Mm-hmm. So I see you have a big stack there, Leanne. Is there anything else on your mind at the moment?
Well, you know, something I saw out of the Daily Mail, what I was like, what? Maybe there's a little sense here. There's experts calling for a crackdown on sex robots. And they're thinking that these sex robots should be banned. This is unnecessary.
Is there a prevalence of sex robots?
Apparently there
I'm not telling anybody to go out and buy one. I just didn't know it was an epidemic of...
It's called robophilia. Sexual attraction to robots. And they're saying this is going to become much more common as these things are around. If you've seen some of the AI sex bots that they're working on right now, they look a lot like a real human. They're trying to work on the skin of the robot.
Yeah, they look real, except they have these gapped open mouths and legs.
And they talk like a robot. Oh.
I just couldn't imagine like going up to your friend's house and he has a sex bot sitting there on the couch.
Yeah, what was that movie? Lars and the Real Girl.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one. I know people reference it. I mean, but I've seen like Austin Powers and stuff like that, and they just
they're basically saying that the physical relationships in the future, or physical relationships like we experience now as humans, are going to be seen as primitive in the future. So if you're just a normal guy and normal girl who love each other, you're going to be quite strange in the future when everyone has their robo lover.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess, but you know, you think about people 100 years from now or 100 years before us, you know, they look at us and say, you guys are so weird. And I guess it is kind of a breakdown. You know, there's less person-to-person interaction, things of that nature. But
Oh, that's totally, yeah. Technology is already changing us with the texting. And, you know, I hate small talk. I really do not like small talk. And now I even more so hate small talk via text. Oh, how was your day? What you doing? Like, I don't want to sit there and text you. Like, why? That's not a relationship.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody. Exactly. Well, so Jakari, have you been back there answering the phones today?
I did, and there's a gentleman who called in. I didn't identify myself to him. I just said, you know, the Infowars Money Bomb headquarters or whatever I said to him. His name was Richard, and there's Leanne. Wow. Oh, man. That's not a stage photo at all. There's a gentleman who called in earlier. His name was Richard. And I was having such a difficult time getting his order processed because his credit card kept declining. And not that there's anything wrong with the credit card.
It's the banks. Actually, I'll mention that. I guess sometimes with the banks, if you're trying to purchase something in Texas and you're out of state, the banks will flag it, thinking that it could be some credit card fraud. So if that's happening, you actually need to call the bank and authorize the transaction. And sorry about that.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what happened with the gentleman. But we eventually got it worked out. We gave him a little bit of a discount. So thank you, Richard, for putting up with us. And we definitely encourage you guys. There's still plenty of time. Last time I was back there, Rob Dew was on the phones.
He's killing it.
Yeah, he's a machine back there.
He loves the product, so he's just giving everybody all the information that they need. But so you said you didn't tell him who you were, and he still recognized that.
No. Like
voice?
Nobody recognized me, which was fine. Because I know, I was back there briefly when Biggs was on the phone. And he's like, yeah, this is Joe Biggs, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, and I couldn't hear what the guy was saying, but I could hear Biggs like, yeah, it's the Joe Biggs.
Well, I feel bad. Only one person was excited to talk to me. Everyone else was like, yeah, can I get that X2? Just trying to roll those transactions, and that's fine.
They need that
X2. That's okay.
That's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Now would probably be a good time to give out the number, guys.
Okay, guys. Well, let's go ahead and take some calls before we have Joe Biggs come on around 6:30 or so. And
the operators are standing by, actually, there for the to purchase anything at the money box.
Okay, yeah, okay. I got a little confused there. They're talking to my head. All right, so this is for the operators. If you guys want to call in to the Infowars shop, this is 1-888-253-3139. That is 1-888-253-3139. We may get to some calls a little bit later. Let's go ahead and finish whatever news blitz Leanne McAdoo has for us.
Well, I was just also interested in the fact that there's a new study being done linking antidepressants in young people to violence. And,
lo and behold,
we're all,
Who would ever think that? Most mass shooters, take antidepressants.
Right. And they will never try to link those two things together. But, yeah, they're saying, these kids age 15 to 24 are more likely to have violent episodes, depression, suicide, which was actually something when I watched the movie Project 22, which is the crowdsourced movie about the 22 veterans committing suicide every day. So 2 veterans set out across country to do something about it. And it was an excellent movie. I recommend it to everyone, Project 22. But that's something that they were talking about, is that you have these veterans, and they're young. These are young guys that come back, and they go to the VA, and the VA's immediate answer, oh, you're depressed. Oh, you can't sleep. Oh, you're tired. Oh, you're feeling anxiety. Here's
you need this
10
pill.
different kinds of pills to take. Let us know if it works. If it doesn't, bring it back, and we'll give you...
We'll give you something stronger.
Somebody in the movie was saying that they were taking like 30 different kinds of pills 3 times a day. 30 pills. And so this, for like PTSD and all this stuff. I mean, that's just because they got to give you a pill for the nausea. Oh, and then take this
to counteract the other effects of the pill.
Yeah. And then it's not a wonder why you have 22 veterans committing suicide every day when you look at something like this, that it's prone to cause suicide. They actually have to put a black label on it. So it's...
Yeah, because you see those signs. I don't know if they're all around the country, but I've seen them. It's like, what kills our veterans? And it's a bunch of bullets. And at the end, it's like this big pill. And that's what's killing these guys, because it is a very good point. They survive, the car bombs. They survive the suicide attacks and all these other things, the snipers. Then they come home, and it's this thing that's in their medical...
Right.
In their medicine closet.
Well, they were also saying, I think they get like 6 months or something. I'm not sure the training. They get however many months of training to go to war, right? But they give them 3 days of assimilating back into the real world, And so here you have these guys who are guys and girls that are, used to being with a group, and it's like survival mode. They have camaraderie, and they all have a purpose. They have a team, this and that, and then they come back home, and they have all these tools, but they don't know how to use the tools in their tool set. So they're not trained to do anything. How do I do something if I don't have a gun in my hand? Let's say, but they're so trained, and so they're being undervalued, underappreciated, underused in our society, because they're not. They take this toolkit that they have and just shove it down in the basement and never use it again. Meanwhile, so there's other means for them to...
And I've seen that with college students as well, because you have people, they're 18, 19 years old. They live with mom and dad, and they go off to whether it's college or the military, and they're still used to people giving them orders and telling them what to do. So then when they get out of college, it's kind of like, what do I, they don't, they're not used to that because they live in the dorm. They have the, the RA or whatever. And so I can definitely.
You come back here and you're isolated.
Yeah.
And then you go back and people are worried about, what they're going to wear to the club or this or that. And you're thinking there's stuff like real things going on in the world. And you're fighting over, is the dress blue or gold or white or whatever.
The dumbest thing. I don't even know what color that dress was. I just remember and think this like the stupidest story of the year.
It went.
And in the year of stupid stories, that's quite the statement to make.
Yeah. Could be a good Halloween costume.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so we got about 3 or so minutes before we go to break. So let's just talk, I guess, briefly. Maybe we can do a quick plug here before we come back with Joe Biggs. We'll talk about some of the great products over there at the Infowars shop. The one I take the most regularly is the Oxy powder. Now, it's a rather intense experience. I don't know how much you guys want to know about my Oxy powder stories, but basically, I found that it works best if you drink it along with some apple cider vinegar, and that clears me pretty much out. I guess groups can speak to more than I can, but I usually try to wait a few hours after I eat to let it get all down in there and do its magical work to experience the ancient purity of Oxy powder.
Well, I know someone was saying that their results were a little iffy, and I think it also, you got to drink a lot of water while you're taking
Yes, you must be hydrated.
Got to be hydrated, and also what you're eating while you're taking it is kind of important because you're obviously not going to want to be eating things that aren't easily digestible by your body because then you're just making it harder for this to work because now it's having to counteract what's already in your body plus what you're now putting in.
Right.
More so.
Now, Leanne, I know you've taken some of the products. What have they done for you?
Are you talking about the super female?
Yeah, it's like a whole nother person walked in here after she took that super female. She was like floating on the air and her hair was done. And she's like, oh, it's like a scene out of a commercial. They should have filmed that like the day she walked in after she took that super female. But tell us.
No, I was saying I thought it would be funny to do like a funny commercial where I just was like so invigorated. I just felt like grabbing you and like tossing you around or something because it just made me feel courageous and, very sexy and very confident. But like I said, I started taking it right when I broke up with my boyfriend. So, it was a little too frisky for a single gal.
All right. Well, that's full disclosure here at the Infowars studio. Maybe more than you ever want to know, or maybe that's just what you need to hear.
Hey, maybe that's what
I think I see Joe Biggs out there
take 5 bottles
holding a rather interesting rifle.
Roger that. We have a custom one-of-a-kind head-down rifle. I'll be in there in a minute to tell you guys all about it.
All right, that sounds awesome. And if you guys don't get that thing, I probably will. I'll try to find some way to take that thing home with me. HDfirearms.com, some great guys. They gave me a watch, which I had to take off to come do the broadcast, but a lot of love for those guys over there at Head Down.
They gave me a bunch of lip gloss.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, what? They're like, we got a bunch of stuff for you. Apparently, they sell a bunch of lip gloss.
They sell all kinds of stuff, the Vikings fit. All right, so stay tuned. We'll be back right after this break with Joe Biggs and more special reports. May even take a few calls before we go on to the debate.
What you doing, boy? What you talking about, boy? This is my land. You're on my land. You're on my land, boy. What I say goes here, boy.
They're all having a good time. They're talking to this crazy Texan. Everybody knows Texans are dumb. I rode a horse to, work this morning. If I didn't have a liberal from New York in the bathroom, I couldn't wipe my ass.
That's the work of some dirty low-down devil, Infowars.com. I reckon he's probably with Al-Qaeda.
Infowars! Infowars!
I've got to say, guys, you guys are really authentic Texans. You got cowboy hats. I mean, George Bush says he's a cowboy, but he says he's afraid of horses.
I like George Bush. I thought we should have invaded Iraq. Don't you dare criticize our commander-in-chief, boy. You with Al-Qaeda? I think you're with Al-Qaeda, boy. I'm going to report you, boy. I'm going to be asking no questions. Down, boy.
My hat is off to those boys. My hat's off to you, men. My tricorder hat is off to you.
Get out of here, boy! Get out of here!
No, please. No, please, sir, please.
Let that be a lesson to you, boy!
DNA Force.
When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in.
DNA Force.
No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies.
DNA Force.
We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
DNA Force.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Vote for Jeb, or you're just fucking stupid.
Fool me, we can't get fooled again.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with super male or super female vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
I'm running for president. Everyday Americans need a champion, and I want to be that champion. I'm hitting the road to earn your vote, and I hope you'll join me on this journey.
The globalists have controlled the mainstream media for a long time, but now they're expanding and making the weaponization even more vicious and deceptive. All the major networks are state-run.
We are partnering this year with the NFL.
The NFL has become a political weapon against the Second Amendment and pushes Obamacare. MSNBC tells us that our children belong to the state.
We have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
It is more important than ever to realize that we are not the alternative media. We are the true media. The establishment dinosaur press is dying.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
Join us at InfoWarsNews.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Members can share their memberships with up to 11 people. By subscribing, you will literally be buying war bonds in the info war to expand our operation in the face of the tyrants. Join us at PrisonPlanet.tv.
And welcome back to the InfoWars Money Bomb. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson, along with Leanne McAdoo, and now joined in the studio by Joe Biggs and his best friend. I don't know if I'm referring to Leanne or the gun, but Joe, before we talk about the special announcement that you have possibly coming up in the Money Bomb, let's talk about what's in your lap right now.
All right, so this right here, this is a one-of-a-kind custom Triton 10 rifle with a custom Cerakote paint job on here. This is a beautiful rifle. Now, myself and Alex Jones have both signed this, and this is made by, like I said, Head Down Rifles. This is a group of amazing people. Alex is not going to put his name behind something if he doesn't believe in it. These guys are one of a kind, just like this rifle. I've flown out there. I met them. Great people.
Yeah,
this is American made. So this is the thing. It is, well, technically we'll say it starts now at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. From here on out, anyone who donates $1,000, your name will be put into a hat. And tomorrow we will draw the name of the lucky person who gets this. Now, you're not only going to be getting this. I wasn't able to get the sight in time, but there will be an optics that comes with this by Georgia Optics. Now, these are the guys who supply us with the sights on the InfoWars store as well, with the G-Shock watches and all that. They're also going to be providing 2 G-Shock watches as well. We'll get pictures of those out later as well. I'll do that during my broadcast later on. But this is it. From here on out, this is the start for the raffle for the custom Triton 10 head-down rifle. Like I said, this is a one-of-a-kind. Mold was broken after this. No more will be sold like it. This is the thing. And like I said before, Head Down sent these rifles out to us a couple months back. Not this one, obviously, but we went out and shot them, put them through stress tests. I threw them on the ground, kicked them around in the dirt, still fired, stable, doesn't wiggle. I mean, amazing rifle. You're not going to get something like this anywhere else. So I hope everyone's amped like I am for this. Woo! Money Bomb 2015.
I'm quite amped, and thanks to Georgia Optics for the G-Shock watch, and also Head Down gave me a custom-made holster. So they make good products. So I can vouch for that. Great products by Head Down Firearms. Now, let's talk about the big money, because that was $1,000 to get entered in for the raffle for the firearm. But what happens if some person, and then let me be very clear with the disclaimer here, this is for a single individual, this isn't crowdsourced, a single individual who calls in before the Money Bomb ends 2015 and donates $10,000, what's going to happen, Joe Biggs?
At this point in time, I am going to let Leanne McAdoo shock me with 800,000 volts.
Yes.
So it's going to be very intense and interesting.
I have always wanted to tase someone, and you actually seem like pretty pumped to get tased. I'm not. You were like, I'll get tased. Like you were just right there.
Because I'm all about this. I'm all in for the Infowar. If you know who I am, if you know about me, I'm all in. I'm all in for this. I'm not slacking whatsoever. If I got to take a tase, well, so be it. But like I said, this Money Bomb helps us go on these trips. It helps fund the operation. It's going to help us reach 400 million people. Think about how many people we're going to wake up with 400 million people turning on their satellite and watching this operation. And you know what? It's going to be live. You're going to get to see Joe Biggs shake on the ground. And it's going to hurt.
By Leanne McAdoo. Now, where do I get to tase you? Because I know there's certain points, like I don't want to go for the heart or the neck, but
I'm thinking either the gut or the backside, because those are two plump areas, I guess.
Well, I'm thinking that
I'm definitely not an active duty soldier anymore.
Well, I've heard that it's more effective if you hit the muscles, because it seizes up on the muscles. That's why sometimes if you see a big guy, like a real big guy, if he's,
You've really been looking into this.
She's talking about effectiveness.
Yeah, I'm trying to see,
she's over here Googling.
Are we going to bring some pain? Or, because if I hit you in the stomach, you might be able to wriggle yourself out of that.
Oh, my goodness. She really looked into it. The only thing I would say, Biggs, is definitely be sure you go to the bathroom. Because I've seen taser videos where guys, piss on themselves. I guess say what it is. So I'm sure like a man like Joe Biggs would never do that.
Negative. I'm going to take it like a man. And guess what? This is for feminism, right? This is for feminism. Feminism. Don't tase me, bro, but tase me.
This is real
feminism. Joe Biggs. Now, Joe Biggs, you're looking like the most interesting man in the world over there with your beard and your gun. And I think you're actually probably going to be in the running for that with all the stuff you do out there not protesting, but you went to the Trump event. You've been shot with rubber bullets, tear gassed. ISIS made a video about you. Who can say that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been an interesting ride. I've been here for about a year and a half now. 10 years ago when I was sitting on the hood of my Humvee in Iraq outside of Baghdad, watching that place, just go to the craziness. And I was sitting there laying thinking I would never make it out of that deployment. Did I ever think that, 10, 12 years down the road that I get a call from a guy named Alex Jones and give me the greatest present anyone could ever ask for, this opportunity to come out here and work with Leanne McAdoo and the infamous Jakari Jackson and Darren McBreen and many others, Joe Jennings. It's just been one hell of a ride. That's all I can say. And I'm amped up and I'm ready for this and I can't wait.
Now, before we let you go, Joe, you have a segment coming on at what time?
I will be on for 3 hours from 1 to 4 a.m. From the first 30 minutes, Darren McBreen and I will be talking to Larry Pinckney. He's going to ride lead on that one. Then I'm going to take over. I'll talk about some veteran issues, things like that. And then that last hour, I'm going to speak to Ryan Smith of Armed Citizens United, and then two really big YouTube personalities for Second Amendment stuff, Tack Daddy and Schwell. So these guys will be talking to me about Second Amendment things, different stories that have to do with guns across the country and the world. And we're going to answer people's calls, get their opinion on what's going on, what we can do, and just, have a good conversation. So it should be awesome.
Well, I'm actually looking forward to checking this thing out, the Joe Biggs Show.
I know. I've been really enjoying this. Like, it's so exciting. It's like we're having a slumber party. All our best friends.
Except there's no sleeping at all for 28 hours. It's just straight up amped up energy. I'm so amped up. I'm just ready for
it. I guess he'll tase you if he catches you sleeping.
And all that's going to do is just going to amp me up even more, literally.
All right, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Joe.
you're definitely literally going to get amped.
And don't forget, man, get this one of a kind. Get your chance. You've got to try and get this. This is an amazing rifle for that price. Signed by Alex Jones. That is awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Roger. All right, and there goes Joe Biggs. And don't forget to check out his segment later on. I guess it's going to be tomorrow, early tomorrow morning, where you can watch the Joe Biggs Show.
Yeah, well, for our viewers and listeners overseas, though, that'll be perfect timing for them.
Yes.
So. And
don't forget, later on, like I said, we're going to do the debate coverage coming up here in the next 20 or so minutes. But don't forget, you have Rob Dew, Paul Joseph Watson, Kit Daniels, Mikhail Thelen. Who else? I'm pretty sure I'm missing a bunch of people. Darren McBreen. Pretty much any and everybody is going to be on air at some point.
Did you say Watson?
Yeah, I said Watson.
Okay.
Or at least I think I did. Paul Joseph Watson.
Paul Joseph Watson.
You can't forget about him. He's going to be on, so you guys can check your local listings and see when everybody, your favorite people, are going to be on air. So now with the time we have, let's go ahead and take a few calls.
Sure.
We'll get the phone number out. The call in is 512-646-1776. Once again, the number to call in, 512-646-1776. And we will take your calls ahead of us going to the other studio to cover the debates. So in the meantime, Leanne, what do you think about the landscape? I'm just going to put it out there. At this point, nobody really impresses me. You know, of course, you know, Rand's out there talking about some good stuff, as is Ted Cruz, but it's more of a kind of beauty pageant.
Right. It's like they don't want to reveal too much about any of their policies because then everyone's going to spend their time picking them apart. So they don't tell too much this early in the game. So I can kind of understand people are like, well, where's the policies? Where do you stand on the issues? Because then if they put themselves out there too fast. But that's sort of the problem I have with the fact that they start campaigning a year or two ahead of the game, because then they're not really revealing anything. They're just trying to raise money and just say whatever they need to say.
Well, I guess that is
those phones lit up.
Yeah. Well, let's not waste any more time. We have Kevin in Colorado. Kevin, you are on the air.
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. It's so cool. I'm on the air. It's nice to meet you guys. I just got to say to Leanne, I got to give you your props. It's awesome. You're like one of the only female that's out here, you know, doing what you do, and a great reporter. And to Jakari, too, you're awesome. You guys do a great job.
Thank you.
I did want to point out, though, I heard a few callers trying to call out about this, like a few times before with Alex. But he has a very strong personality, so sometimes he'll cut him off. But, you know, we everything with Hillary, and we got the debate coming up, which is exciting. But, you know, all this stuff with them, I heard a lot of people bring up the fact that these people, including the Bilderberg Group, are real involved with you know, conspiracies and basically a lot of alien conspiracies. And I just wanted to throw a tip out there, and you guys should really dig a little deeper and do a little bit more research out there, because there is a lot of information about alien theories that you know, that these people, the government, the shadow government, is basically involved with. You know, there's all kind of theories about interdimensional beings, that these people are some kind of reptilians. I mean, all kinds of things, and, you know, rituals that go on underneath the royal palace. You know, there's a lot.
Right.
And I heard you guys bring out a few. Y'all talked about that a few times, but I just wanted to, you know, throw it out there and just tell y'all, one of y'all reporters, now that we're stepping up to a new plate, going on to the satellites, y'all should set goals for yourself and, you know, dig a little deeper in that and get a little bit more involved. There's a lot of, like, UFO activity, especially living out here in Colorado.
Well, that's kind of my thing. I love that kind of stuff. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I'm into that stuff. So I'm definitely your girl on that. We will be looking further into that. I'm right there with you. I think there is a lot of really strange and bizarre stuff going on. Absolutely. All
right. Thank you so much.
The unexplainable.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Yeah, Leanne is, she likes to talk about the aliens. It's not really my bag, but, you know, whatever. But, Kevin, you can definitely look forward to Leanne talking more about that. Let's move on to Robert in Florida.
Robert.
Hi, Leanne. Hello, Jakari. Can
hey
you
there.
hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Yes.
I'm a long-time listener. I've been trying to get through forever. I listen to Alex during the day, and I'm calling. I know it's kind of busy and stuff, and you guys are awesome. I wish I could be on your team. And, there's no doubt the country's in trouble. And it just seems that the only thing we can do is just sit here and complain and talk about it. I mean, the time for talk is over, but, I'm only one person. And I know you guys are having an auction. And, Leanne, I was wondering, can I get an 8x10 of you autographed? I'll be glad to pay good money for that.
Yeah, actually, I was saying something about that yesterday, but I don't think we have any pictures of
Oh, we can take some pictures. Yeah, there you go. We'll send you that one.
He doesn't want
right there, sir. Oh, we have photographers back there.
Hey, if you send in a picture, you can send it in to my attention. I'll sign it and send it back. If you just put in some return postage, I guess.
All right, thank you so much, Robert. Yeah, Leanne. Hey, people want some Leanne. They want some framed. We got printers.
And we still have the Infowars, the centerfold from the Infowars magazine. I don't know if
maybe we can
have
send
any
that.
of those laying around.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm pretty sure we have some laying back there. Maybe we can autograph one of those and put that in the auction block. Thank you, Robert. Is that Lad in Texas?
It is.
All right. How you doing, Lad?
I'm doing okay. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, we can.
Look, I just wanted to say to Leanne and Jakari, I came by the studio a few weeks ago. I came back. I came twice actually, and I dropped off.
Well, sir, we definitely, as Alex says, coming to the studio isn't exactly the best thing to do. We definitely appreciate anybody who wants to send stuff in, and you can check out all that information for the P.O. box on the main page. Thank you for calling, Lad. Let's move on to Corey in Georgia.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey there.
Hi, how y'all doing?
Doing very good.
Yeah, I was just going to call in about the elections and the total fraud that the elections are.
I'm sorry, I lost you there, Corey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes,
go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to call in and talk about how the elections are just total fraud and the billions that these people raise. And like Hillary, she's over here under investigation, multiple investigations, and she's still in the running to be president. It's just absolutely ridiculous what our country's become.
And more to that, Corey, we actually have a documentary by Larry Nichols. He is a Clinton insider. He used to work for the Clinton campaign years ago, back when Bill was governor. And that's going to premiere later on in the evening, along with an interview from Larry Nichols. So it's a great report cut by Joshua Owens.
Yeah, he wants to blow that wide open.
Yeah, so
he
definitely,
thinks it's ridiculous too.
Definitely, if that's something that's interesting to you, Corey, stay tuned, and you'll be able to see all that.
I think that's coming up at about 10:30 tonight.
Yeah, around 10. We're going to try to move through these calls pretty quick, so we only got about 5 or 6 minutes left. Let's go to Harry in New Jersey.
Hello, how are you?
Very well.
Listen, I'm an Air Force vet, and my opinion on Donald Trump in this election, Donald Trump is basically an actor. That's what he does.
Yeah, he's an entertainer.
He is an entertainer, yes.
Exactly. And he probably already has knowledge on how this is going to end because, everything the actors do is with a script. So I don't really believe there will be an actual election. I think there will be martial law before this election is over. Donald Trump will say his favorite things, is I told you so, and you're fired, and whatever else he likes to say.
Loser. That's what he likes.
Loser. Average, you're all stupid. He'll be able to say his favorite thing, his favorite line. He'll have some kind of line that Bilderberg has lined up for him because he's one of the richest guys out there.
Oh, yeah. He's probably already hedged his bets on a number of all the different candidates. If he wins, if Hillary wins, if, Jeb wins.
He's a businessman.
He's like, whoever wins, they're still going to be partners. They're still going to be working together. He's already paid them all off. And you're right about that. And to just even push that how politicians are entertainers, Arnold Schwarzenegger, former governor of California, is now going to be hosting, I guess, in Trump's place.
Apprentice.
Yeah. So,
all right, well, thank you so much for calling, Harry. We're going to try to get through some more of these calls. We have James in Seattle. Go ahead, James.
Wow, that was quick. You just screened me. God bless you guys. Book of Revelations is unfolding. That's all I want to tell you. Get ready. This ain't no game. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, people who always, actually, I'm looking at it on the screen right now, Christians, the most persecuted faith. It looks like these people are trying to use the book of Revelations as some type of instructional booklet.
Right.
And,
or at least to make everyone think that the time is near because all these things are unfolding.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what Alex talks about. They get people scared to the point where, like, well, it's the end times, so I'm just going to sit here and die. And
exactly. And that's not.
You got to
God and your imagination.
You got to fight to the end, and I definitely appreciate you calling.
Don't get locked up in fear because that's what they want. They want you to think that you don't need to fight. And
Very good, very good. Good point. Now we have Jim in Wisconsin. Go ahead, Jim. Hello, Jim.
Hello. How you doing, Jakari?
Very well.
All right, Leanne. These guys are great, man.
Thanks.
These guys give more information than anybody on the planet. I really appreciate it. I just had two kind of quick questions for you. Just wanted to get your take on it. Obama announced that 20,000 immigrants were coming over to America, and Alex put out that there was a article about there might be ISIS within those people.
Well, I mean, anybody comes over the border when you have that wide open situation, just like we talk to the Border Patrol agents, they say, yeah, there are some MS-13. That's not saying everybody's a criminal, but they sneak in with these large groups of people. Go ahead.
Right. Okay, but what I'm saying, I heard in Wisconsin that there's going to be some coming in here, okay? The thing that I wonder about is if there might be something like a Red Dawn only right here on the ground. Okay, my other question really quickly was, I know I've done a lot of research on HAARP, and you got all these big wildfires going on in California. Wouldn't it be nice if they would use that machine to get rid of those wildfires? That's all I got. God bless you guys. I wish you all the luck on your money bomb. These guys are awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
So much. No, it's absolutely true. I mean, they have the ability to do cloud seeding and all those things.
Yeah,
so
and those
why
are
do we
major,
have record droughts?
Yeah, those are in major newspapers. Like, oh, you guys are making that up. No, it's in the USA Today that they cloud seed. Now, before we go into our last caller, I just want to give out the number again for our operators that are standing by. It's 1-888-253-3139, and that's the number to donate. That is 1-888-253-3139, and you can also go to the Infowars shop and check out all those great products. Now,
I just wanted to remind everyone that if you're on Twitter, you should be using the hashtag MoneyBomb2015. You can at myself or Jakari Jackson or Joe Biggs. We're all on Twitter, but use the hashtag MoneyBomb2015 to ask us any questions you might have. I have a question from Cabin Dweller 93, and he asks, are you actually getting on TV, actual TV, not underground satellite TV? So I think the video that you put together with David Knight really explains what this money bomb is all about.
Yeah, so actually we're going to play that going out to break to answer all your questions. But with the last 30 seconds, we have Henry in Harlem. What's on your mind, Henry?
Hey, guys. How you guys doing today?
Very good.
All right. The reason I'm calling is because I've been watching some YouTube videos in regards to a false flag coming, like a meteor strike, or in regards to
September 23rd.
Yeah, September 23rd or September 29th, around that time, because Jade Helm is towards the final of it.
Right.
So they want to bring something in. You know how they have the Illuminati games and stuff with these cards. So I figured if y'all could dig into that and get some more insight on that to cover that kind of broad perspective on that direction.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Henry. That's it for our time today. We have the special report from David Knight, who's going to document pretty much what we're doing, what we're trying to achieve with this money bomb. And we'll see you guys in the big studio here in just a few minutes. Jakari Jackson, Leanne McAdoo signing off.
In my arms. Yeah, it's Alex Jones, baby. All right. We're talking about
Infowars.com, which had its humble beginnings as a small website attached to Alex Jones's radio and Access TV shows, has become the leader in alternative news and information. And through the years, Alex has taken the financial support provided by listeners of the radio show, readers of the website, viewers of his DVD documentaries, and freedom lovers all over the world and reinvested that support back into the Infowars news operation. With your support, we've expanded our offices, built studios, hired reporters, video editors, writers, other support staff, and created the premier alternative news network. You made this possible with your support, and we sincerely thank you. The time has come to expand once again, and this time we want to literally launch Infowars.com into space. That's right, we're launching our own satellite broadcast signal to cover all of North America, and we need your help. But first, let us show you how it works. Shows are created live, like The Alex Jones Show, or pre-produced, like the Infowars Nightly News in HD. These shows are launched according to the atomic clock, and the HD signal goes through a closed caption data embedder, which sends the signal to a closed captioning service, and they begin the process of adding text to the screen. This is done in real time, and it is mandated by the FCC. The signal then goes to an MPEG transport streamer, which sends the signal to a satellite uplink facility. They blast the signal from the uplink satellite to the stationary satellite positioned to cover all of North America. The satellite is named SES-3 and run and maintained by the largest satellite distribution network, SES, which maintains a global satellite infrastructure to reach 99% of the planet's population. The satellite sends a signal back to Earth, where it is available to thousands of local television stations. It's also available for free to anyone who owns a C-band satellite dish pointed at 103 degrees west. Using a receiver, they can tune to 3,740 megahertz vertical and receive our broadcasts on Channel 11. There are over 2,200 TV stations in the United States, hundreds in Canada, and another 1,200 in Mexico that could potentially receive this free-to-air broadcast. Each one of these local stations is able to grab the satellite signal and broadcast it to millions of homes in North America, potentially to over 400 million people. There is an enormous cost in buying and maintaining the equipment, paying for the satellite bandwidth, and the cost of closed captioning service. The monthly service fees alone total nearly $40,000, which is why we're crowdsourcing InfoWarriors all over the world to help us reach our goal of $1 million, which will allow us to reach 400 million people. It's called Operation Money Bomb 2015. Imagine being able to reach 400 million people who are victims of mainstream media mind control. The ones who still believe in the left-right paradigm, enforced drugging, water fluoridation, and the plan of divide and conquer. Your support will allow us to help these people break free of their mental shackles, help bring about a peaceful revolution, and restore our republic. If you're able to help us financially reach our goal, then log on to Infowars.com/moneybomb and contribute what you can. But there's another way to help that will not cost you anything. Go to Infowars.com/moneybomb, download our informational packet, email it to your local television station, then follow up with a phone call to ask the station to carry the Alex Jones Show and the Infowars Nightly News. Everyone can join in, and we cannot prevail unless we have your help. So please, log on to Infowars.com/moneybomb today and help us make Operation Money Bomb 2015 a resounding success. Your support will help us reach 400 million people. I'm David Knight for Infowars.com. Thank you for watching Operation Money Bomb 2015 and for your support.
We've reached a critical juncture in the globalist program. That's why we're launching Operation Money Bomb 2015. And with the money we raise from this, we will be able to stay on the satellites and get on cable stations across North America, reaching tens of millions of more people right at the time they're receptive and looking for answers. So join us this September 16th and 17th. We're charging up, getting ready, and going in. No one will go to the New York Times or care that it's even admitted that the government's hatching most of the terror plots. Or people will say, what are you doing? Endorsing radical Islam, saying it doesn't exist? I didn't say that. I said our criminal government is arming them, aiding and abetting them, protecting them to attack and kill us so they can take our freedoms. That's what I said.
Never water yourself down just because someone can't handle you at 100 proof. It's the Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, Glenn Beck, and everybody else that runs around claiming that I'm saying there aren't any real Muslim terrorists. That's a load of crud, and you know it.